Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ranking Member Romney, distinguished members of the committee, I appreciate the confidence President Biden and Secretary Blinken have placed in me by nominating me to be the next U.S. ambassador to Azerbaijan, and it's a great privilege to appear before you today. If I'm confirmed, I pledge to work closely with this committee and with all members of Congress to advance U.S. interests in and with Azerbaijan. All U.S. diplomats have a core duty to protect American citizens, and if I am confirmed, that will be my top priority. In my 3 decades of public service, I have seen the persistence of and sacrifices made by U.S. Foreign Service, civil service, military, and other interagency partners, and by our locally engaged staff, as you pointed out, Mr. Chairman. These dedicated colleagues often face danger and hardship to safeguard their fellow Americans and to pursue U.S. national interests. If I am confirmed, it will be the honor of a lifetime to lead the team at Embassy Baku in pursuit of those same goals. If confirmed, I will also support U.S. efforts to facilitate a just and sustainable peace agreement between Azerbaijan and Armenia. This tragic conflict has produced a bitter legacy of pain and mistrust. I know many members of this committee have concerns about Azerbaijan. I share and understand them. Solving issues of territorial integrity, sovereignty, and the rights and securities of everyone in the region, including those residing in Nagorno-Karabakh, is vital to any durable and dignified peace. There is no military solution to this conflict, and the U.S. must continue to condemn violence or threats of violence. But with the help of the United States and of our European partners, the parties are closer than ever to reaching an agreement. And if I am confirmed, I commit to help to get them there through active and persistent engagement in Baku. But signing a peace deal is only the first step. If I'm confirmed, I will lead Embassy Baku's interagency team to support the implementation of an eventual settlement. Successful implementation of a peace agreement would pave the way for deeper ties between the U.S. and Azerbaijan that will stabilize the region and thwart hostile competitors who seek to expand their malign influence by capitalizing on conflict. A peace deal would allow us to take to the next level much of what already works well in our relationship with Azerbaijan. Cooperation in counterterrorism, border security, energy security, and maritime security serves the U.S. national interest and security. If confirmed, I will redouble our efforts in these areas. I will seek to foster further economic development and create more numerous and diverse opportunities for U.S. companies to compete and generate jobs at home. Democracy and human rights are core to U.S. foreign policy, not just because they reflect our values, but because they have proven to be the best foundation for peace and prosperity. If confirmed, I pledge to engage in a respectful but very frank dialogue with a wide range of Azerbaijani leaders and citizens and to advocate persistently for those values, rights, and freedoms in Azerbaijan and in the wider region. If confirmed, I will work in full and open consultation with this committee, which has shown such leadership advancing our values and interests in this complex region. I commit to cooperation with you to advance our goals of a stable, democratic, peaceful, and prosperous Azerbaijan that is a strategic partner to the United States. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions.
Let me congratulate all the nominees before us today. We want to thank you and your families for your commitment to service to our country, because it really truly is a family affair. And so we appreciate your willingness to serve the nation. These are critical posts that we need to carry out U.S. foreign policy abroad, and I hope we will be able to work through your nominations both at the committee and on the floor in a reasonable time so we can get you to the posts. Let me go to just a couple of questions. Mr. Libby, one of the most challenging issues on the ongoing peace talks between Armenia and Azerbaijan is the rights and security for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. I have deep concerns that without robust international guarantees, the people of Nagorno-Karabakh will be extremely vulnerable. What do you see as the different possible outcomes for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, and do you share my concerns about their physical safety as well as their protection for their cultural rights?
Mr. Chairman, thanks for the question. I do share your concerns about the future of that region, including the people in Nagorno-Karabakh. That's why I think Secretary Blinken has really put his shoulder to the wheel to try and come up with and facilitate a settlement. And the good news is that, for the moment at least, all of the parties seem to be engaging seriously. It's not going to be easy, but a settlement that we want to reach and we want to help them reach is one that addresses issues of sovereignty, rights and security for all the people in the region, and territorial integrity. With regard to the situation of Nagorno-Karabakh, I don't necessarily want to prejudice what that looks like. That's a matter for the parties to decide. But a situation in which their rights and securities have not been considered or not factored in and taken care of in some fashion strikes me as something that would not be durable.
It's for the parties to decide, but we clearly have a role in trying to advocate the process forward. I am deeply concerned by the ongoing blockade of Nagorno-Karabakh, which severely limits the basic goods and aid entering the region. Azerbaijan's more than 180-day blockade has threatened famine for the local Armenian population, causing rationing, resulting in pharmacies running out of medicine. Will you publicly condemn the blockade today and unequivocally urge Aliyev to open the Lachen corridor to normal traffic?
Sir, the U.S. position on this has been, it really consists of sort of three elements. And the U.S. has criticized any unilateral action that hurts trusts, raises risks, or damages people's safety and security. The way to approach this is really three elements. First, over the short term, that's to monitor the situation and continue our calls and pressure for the restoration of civilian and commercial traffic into and out of the territory. In the medium term, we're looking at questions of assistance. We don't have access to the territory at the moment, but my understanding is that the U.S. government has already put forward $21 million of food assistance, medicine, medevac, and family reunification assistance. That's a medium-term solution or a medium-term tool to address it. But the long term really is going to be in the context of a settlement, an agreement between all the parties that stipulates how the rights and securities of everyone in the region are.
Well, let me just say we can monitor it while people die. That's not satisfactory to me.
If people are dying, that's a big problem, and we need to take action.
People are dying.
Yeah, this is why.
So I urge you to engage with the department in a more forceful, forthright response, because having a corridor closed to humanitarian assistance, even our humanitarian assistance, is having difficulty getting in. That's because Aliyev. And so, you're going to be nominated, you're going to be going, if confirmed, to a challenging post. But the fact that it's challenging doesn't mean that the United States should not be speaking out for the basic human rights principles that we observe globally. And I hope you'll be a vigorous voice in that regard. I'm going to send you some follow-up questions. I'd like to see your answers to them.
For sure, Senator.
Mr. Libby, let me start with you. I just want to follow up a little bit on Senator Menendez with respect to Nagorno-Karabakh and the Lachen corridor being closed. You talked about the peace process, the path forward as having a short, medium, and long-term component, which we completely get. My worry, though, is the closure of the corridor should definitely be on the short term, not for resolution of the long-term issues, because it strands 120,000 ethnic Armenians without access to medical care, gasoline, food. The U.S. has been pretty full-throated in condemning the closure. Administrator Power with USAID, other U.S. officials, UNICEF, UN agencies have called for it to be open. And I just would want your commitment that you'll continue that clear U.S. message that however it takes to get us to a medium and long-term solution, the closure of this Lachen corridor by the Azerbaijani activists, likely with the backing of the Azerbaijan government, is a clear and present challenge to those citizens, and we should be doing all we can to expeditiously seek its reopening. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, Senator, I do, and thank you for that question. That's been a strong point by the administration, as you noted, by Administrator Power, and I share that sense of urgency. We've got to solve that problem and get traffic flowing again. I absolutely agree with that, sir.
Thank you, Senator Kaine. Senator Romney.
Mr. Libby, I'm interested in your perspective of the people of Azerbaijan and how in the region there is a reaction to Russia's invasion in Ukraine, whether that's changed public opinion, whether that's changed political sentiment there, perspective of the government, and what you see in terms of that dynamic.
Thanks, Senator. That's one of the things that makes this region so fascinating and so critically important. Azerbaijan is, to my knowledge, the only country that borders both Russia and Iran, and so it sits right smack in the middle of a strategic region, and its role in the former Soviet space is obviously very important. Azerbaijan has had an interesting balancing act to play, but they have been quite helpful with regard to supporting Ukraine, fuel, food assistance, and even after this dam was destroyed last week, sending in new packages of aid. They voted for the UN General Assembly resolution condemning the invasion and reaffirming Ukraine's territorial integrity. This is an interesting and fairly forward-leaning place for a country in the former Soviet space. If I'm confirmed, I think part of my job is going to be to try and get Azerbaijan further down that track. Obviously, there's ties of kinship and ties of trade and so forth, but Azerbaijan has its own potential role as a conduit, as an energy source, and as a counterbalance to Russian influence in the region, and that's one of the reasons that makes it so important.